recording. All right, so we're on lesson 6, everyone. We've made it pretty far. So today we are going to review your homework from the weekend, the itinerary that you worked on. Then we are going to look at vocabulary for asking for, refusing, and giving permission. And then at the end, depending on how much time we have, we will either do some review of conditionals, or I will send that as extra work for you to do during this week. So it will all just depend on how our time goes today. All right. Okay, so your homework, you had an itinerary to develop. Marina, would you like to start and tell us your itinerary?
I haven't prepared,
Okay.
but I can say from the white list. Yes,
Okay.
White sheet.
Sure. So you say from like. How would we say that? Sorry. Like not from memory, because it's not something you memorize, but it can just be, you can develop it while you're talking.
Suddenly, or
yes, all of a sudden, or yeah.
Just all of a sudden, like, yeah, all of a sudden, yeah.
Right. That's fine. Or if you want, I can come back to you if you want to jot some notes down and we can listen to everyone else. And then
maybe it would be better. Yeah,
we'll do that. Okay, yeah, no problem. So Margot, I'll go to you then.
Okay, just prepare for my weekends in Lviv. How it would be. Okay. So first of all, it's accommodation and breakfast. After that, walk through the historical center of the city. Visiting the town hall, drink coffee in an Armenian cafe, walk through the square market, climb the castle hill, lunch at the House of Legends, visiting Lviv soap workshop, after that gallery Ziga, listen organ music in a Dominican cathedral, and dinner in Kryivka.
That's all in one day?
Day 2, it's first day, and day 2, morning coffee in a coffee pit. So what? Lvivska chocolate shop. Excursion to the castles of Lviv region, evening opera at listening opera at opera theater, and dinner at Veronica. That's all.
Very nice. Okay, and who is this trip for?
It's for me, maybe with a friend.
Just you? Okay. Or some friends to join you. All right. That sounds good. Fun. The one thing that I picked up on, you said square market. I think we would say market square.
Market square.
Market square. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Good. All right. Thank you. And Valeria, are you able to share your?
Yeah. I'm here. You know, me as a
Oh, I think we may have lost sound with you.
Are you hear me? Do you hear
now
me?
I can. Yes. Okay. I can hear you now.
Yes. Perfect. Yes. Me is Marina. So I didn't,
okay.
I didn't do my homework, but anyway, I really want to speak. We begin speak with travel to Denmark. So okay. I want to continue this and speak more. So it was 2 months ago before war. So I traveled in Denmark, in Copenhagen and in Sweden near. Copenhagen and Sweden is the both countries who situated near the big historical bridge. So you need travel only by this bridge, and after 30 minutes you can be in Sweden already. So Copenhagen is capital of Denmark. So it's a small city, I think town, but okay, city. It's like one region in Kiev because it's really really small. Only 6,000 person live there. So it is place with many castles. So you can travel only in the in castle near the Copenhagen. Just like this. So you can visit many small towns, very clean towns, and with very nice people. And interesting fact, there live only adult people. I didn't see young people.
Oh,
I don't know
interesting.
where is. So yeah, and when it's raining, nobody try to go out. I mean to go somewhere. They just walk. Just walk. They even don't use a hook. Why? You can walk under. You can walk in rain, and you can have pleasure. It was unbelievable for me because every time I looked for safe place, but they are not, and they have a really nice food. But Copenhagen, I mean Denmark, is a very expensive country, so people should understand it. It's I think more than I think it's expensive like in Norway. So I think people should know about it and calm down. And one more interesting fact: there are a lot of people who dress only summer clothes, and when you come to any pub or any cafe, they have there are hot inside, very hot. People, and when I was there, I thought why they in only in t-shirt when only 10 degrees outside. But it is because all cafes and all pubs there are hot inside. So I think that's why.
Very interesting. I would still have to wear a coat or a sweater outside, I think, and then just take it off whenever I got inside.
Yes.
Pub or cafe. Yeah.
But they have even shoes, summer shoes.
Interesting.
It was unbelievable. Yes.
It's probably also that they they don't feel the cold the same way that we would, because they're more.
Oh, maybe yes, maybe.
Possibly.
What the temperature was outside?
I think 12 degrees.
Wow.
12. Yes, 12, 14, something like this. It was cold. Actually, yes, but
cold and wet.
It was
cold and wet. Yeah.
Yeah. So
those are not good combinations really for me.
Very strong.
Yeah, and yes, I think so. And women, all women, they have a nice haircut, and they don't use any hat, because they need to show any haircut for everybody.
Very interesting though. I mean, if I was getting wet, my hair was getting wet, it would not look very good at all. So I would need to have some kind of hat or an umbrella or something. I wanted to talk just briefly about the difference between what we would call a city and a town, because I think that's important, because I would always consider city, Copenhagen would be a city for me, but I come from a really small town. So I think that's what I was thinking. I wasn't positive. I think it depends on the area that you're in. So you have to compare it with the other areas around it. So in Denmark, Copenhagen would be considered a city because it is a larger area, higher population density, and more developed. A town is usually less developed. So it would be, not maybe with a lot of grass area around. I'm sorry?
So town,
Sorry, I
it is like a village.
And a village is even smaller. So yeah, it says a town in an urban area with a larger area than a village, but smaller than a city. So you've got village, town, and then city.
I think each country should have at least one city. So if it's not Copenhagen, what
Yeah.
should it be?
This is true. But, you know, in comparison to, like you were saying, in comparison to Kyiv, or in comparison to, you know,
New York.
maybe a New York City, yes, or I was thinking like Sydney, Australia, or something like that. It is not as big, but we need to think about it in the terms of its own location and what else is around it as well. So yeah, okay, good. Thank you, Valeria, for sharing your experience in Denmark.
Thank you. You're very
I
welcome.
like your observations as well. I think that's important. Also, it's not always about the places that we see, but it's also the things that we observe and how people act and react to things. And that tells us a lot about an area and a culture as well. So, all right, thank you.
Anyway, I have tried to promote the city, because you should visit this country and the city too.
Yes.
So
Not very good promotion. It's very expensive. It's wet,
Yes.
cold.
It's on my list for sure.
and there are a lot of weird people.
I think we run into interesting, weird, if we want to say that, people all over the world, in every country that we
Yeah.
visit. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Okay, Marina.
Yeah,
what
and
is your-
thank you. I'll share my experience, my previous experience. How can I get to Glasgow? But I'd like to say that in Glasgow, I also noticed a lot of strong people who just wearing t-shirts and short in windy weather, and with the same temperature, like 12 degrees, 15 degrees, and it's for me
Yeah.
It's cold.
yeah, it's a bit strange. Why? Maybe they try to accumulate more sun when they have.
Mhm.
I don't know what what is the purpose of such execution.
Or they
under
they
the
train their immunity.
Maybe
Yeah.
that too, right? Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, I'd like to share my experience how I get to Glasgow from Berlin. First of all, I left my friend's home and took a bus to airport in Berlin, and then I checked in and go to my gate to flight to Edinburgh, and flight the flight was last almost 2 hours, and
Okay.
after that we are landing to Edinburgh in Edinburgh airport. It was a small rather small aircraft with only two flight attendants, something like that.
Right. Mhm.
And in Edinburgh it was sunny. It was very sunny and nice, pleasant weather. But I was need to take another bus and go to Glasgow, but it was a bit complicated because it was renovation of bus station, so the bus station moved to another place, and I spent some time to realize, to find out where is it exactly, and I asked some staff of the airport, and they pointed me the right direction.
Nice.
So my trip by bus through Edinburgh, from Edinburgh to Glasgow, took 1 hour.
1 hour, okay.
And then I arrived to Central Station in Glasgow, and my nephew, my niece, she met me at the station, and we we walked a bit through the center of Glasgow city. It was really nice and very impressive for me, with ancient building and beautiful architecture. And after that, we also took another bus, local bus, and got to her family home. So it was my trip for more than half a day.
Sounds like a lot of traveling and a lot of different things to maneuver in there. So there at the end, you said we took a local bus and go to her home. We would say and went to her home because it's in the past. So went is in the past. Yeah, good. I wanted to share.
Are you used to the food there?
Are you used to the food there? Good question.
Food?
Yes, food.
Do you mean food?
Did you
like to eat?
No, eating. I mean, did you eat something there?
During my trip?
Yes.
Not really. I didn't have possibility because it was not providing any food during my flight. No, I was a bit hungry.
Yeah.
Just interested because I think that they have a very fat food, so I'm just interested. I mean, they have much of burgers, no?
No, no. It's just the very interesting local food is haggis. It's like a mix of liver and lungs and blood and something like our bloody sausage.
Yes. So is it the haggis?
A bit bloody sausage with lungs and also with liver, something like that.
Yes. But I think
it's interesting, but it's tasty. It's very nice.
I think it's also pretty easy to find healthy foods in Glasgow as well. Like vegetables and things like that, right? There's a lot of and even like vegan.
Just usual food, like I assume like in London.
Yeah, I think the traditional Scottish food is similar to the traditional English food. It is very meat heavy, but I know that you can get a lot of
meat and chips.
Yes,
fish and chips.
Fish and chips is my favorite. To be honest with you. I wanted to share a short little story. Marina, you're talking about the bus station being renovated and having trouble trying to find it and everything. So I have a similar story. I flew into Istanbul, and I didn't realize that Istanbul had 2 airports. And so I had just, there's 3 actually, yeah. but at the time they were building the third one whenever I went. So there were just the two that were there. And so I had gotten the directions from the airport to the hostel off of the hostel's webpage. And I didn't pay attention to the airport name. So it said to walk out of the airport and get on the train. And I walked out of the airport and there was no train. And I was like, am I in the wrong country? Like, what happened? And that's when I realized that it was a completely different airport. And then I had to try to find my way from the airport to the hostel. So I had to like take a bus, and then from the bus, I had to get on the train, and then the train, and then I ended up walking for like 2 hours because I got off at the wrong spot. And it was a mess, but definitely a fun story to tell. It was just funny when I walked out and I'm like, there's no train. And I went back inside and I asked where the train station was, and they were like, there's not a train here. And I was like, oh no.
You were lucky that it was not any transit from one flight to another. It would be worse.
Yes, exactly. It was quite unnerving in the moment, but we made it work, right? You figure out where you're supposed to go, and you get help from the few people who can, help you understand. So that's good.
Mhm.
All right, Svetlana, do you have, I know, and you can't speak, but do you want to share yours through chat, or do you want us to move on? Give a second for her to be able to respond. She may not even be able to respond. It's tricky sometimes. Okay, we'll move on for now. And if she does share it, then that's fine. We'll come back to it. Okay, so great job on your itineraries, everyone. I enjoyed learning a little bit more about how you would travel on your own, the types of things that you like to do, and what you would want to show either a friend or what you would want to do on your own. All right, so we're going to move now, and we're going to talk about asking for, giving, and receiving permission. So we have a video to watch. It is just a couple of minutes. I think it's like around 3 minutes. And this is kind of like a real life situation where someone is staying at a friend's home and they are asking for permission about things to do in that home. Okay.
Morning, Ella. Sleep well? Yes, like a log. What's the time? About 11:30. Really? I've been asleep for nearly 12 hours. Well, I'm sure it'll take a few days to recover. It's a long flight from Delhi. Yeah, it took about 11 hours, and we didn't sleep at all on the plane. Mike's still fast asleep. I'm starving. Can I make myself some breakfast?
I forgot to mention, if you can make a couple of notes of some of the phrases that you might hear where someone is asking for permission to do something, and then what would be said if they are receiving permission as well. Okay?
Mhm.
Yes, of course you can. Help yourself.
I'll back up just a second there. About that.
Starving. Can I make myself some breakfast? Yes, of course you can. Help yourself. You know where everything is. Thanks. And thanks a lot for letting us stay, Rebecca. That's really kind of you. No problem. Stay as long as you like. It's nice to have the company. Is there anything else you need? Well, all our clothes are absolutely filthy from all the travelling. May I use your washing machine? Actually, I was just going to put some washing in. I need some clean clothes for Harry, but you can use it later if you like. Great, thanks. So, what are your plans? Well, I need to look for a job, actually. We spent all our money on the India trip. You could talk to Charlie. Apparently, they need a new PA in the office. Really? That's interesting. I'll talk to him about it later. Oh, it's much colder here than in Delhi. Do you mind if I borrow a jumper?
No, not at all. They're in the bottom drawer in our bedroom. Pick whichever one you like.
Great, thanks a lot. Be back in a minute.
Oh, Mike. What's it like to be back in the UK?
Well, it's quite strange, actually. We were only in India for a month, but it feels like we were away for a year. But it's very nice to be back.
And when are we going to see your photos?
Oh, they're also on our camera at the moment. Is it okay if I use your laptop to upload some photos?
Sorry, I left mine at work. But I'm sure Rebecca will let you use hers.
Thanks a lot. Then I can show them to you and Rebecca later if you like.
Yeah, good idea. We could do it after dinner.
Oh, I have another big favour to ask you. Would you mind if I borrowed your car sometime this week? My brother lives about 20 miles away and I haven't seen him for ages.
Sorry, it's only insured for Rebecca and myself. But we can drop you at the station whenever you like.
No problem. I just thought I'd ask.
Is there anything else you need?
Do you think I could use your landline to call my parents? I said I would phone them today. I don't have any credit left on my mobile.
Yes, of course. Go ahead. The phone's in the front room by the window.
Thanks a lot.
While you do that, I'll get Rebecca's laptop so you can upload those photos.
Thanks.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know why that just did that. Okay.
Grammarly Business is an AI-powered writing assistant enabled.
Okay. So, Marina, what is one or two phrases that you heard and with someone asking for permission?
I have phrases. May I use your washing machine, for example? And would you mind if I do something? I don't remember.
Yeah. All right. Good. Perfect. All right, Margot. What are two phrases that you heard? And you're on mute, also, by the way, Margot.
Sorry. Would you mind? Do you think I can use? Can I make? Or
Okay.
else?
All right. Good. Thank you. And Valeria?
Yeah, can I make? And interesting, the same, the girls. And he said, do you think, can I mean, do you think is it permission or just, for, I think it's not permission. So do you think it's like
in this case, it was asking for permission. Do you think I could use your
do
computer
you think
or
I
something
could?
like that?
And I also have, is it okay to use something?
Is it okay?
Is
Yes.
it okay? Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think it could be something else? It could be you're asking someone's opinion of something.
Yeah.
Do you think I can
take this one?
Yeah, I was trying to think of something coming up. I was like, do you think I could lift 100 pounds or something like that? So that's asking for their opinion on something. But in this case, it was about I'm asking for permission. Yes. What about receiving that permission? What were some of the things that were said, both positive and negative, when they were asking for permission and they were given the permission? Marina?
I'm afraid I have, for example, my laptop on my workplace or on my office.
Yes.
A lot of I'm sorry, I'm busy now, it's busy, my washing machine is
yes,
busy. Can I say busy? No.
Yeah, or I'm using the washing machine.
I'm using the washing machine.
Yes, good. All right, thank you. Margot, what words did you hear for receiving permission?
Receiving maybe I can answer because it's
Or
about my mind.
That's okay. Either giving and receiving is kind of the same thing. So one person is giving the permission and the other one is receiving the permission. So in the first scenario where the lady with the wash, she was both she was giving the permission, whereas the other girl was receiving the permission. So what were some things that were said? If you can't think of one right now, that's fine. But when someone asks like, can I or may I?
I remember that something about breakfast. She said here that you can choose whatever you want.
Right. Yes, good. All right, thanks. Valeria,
yeah, I was concentrated on on the phrases, but
yeah.
So I didn't catch the answers, and so I can just I don't know, I suppose that she answered, oh sure, of course.
Right.
But
I also had more of the asking phrases than the receiving ones written down.
Yeah, so I tried, I tried to remember all these phrases, but I didn't try to remember answers.
That's okay. That's okay. One of them that I did write down was yes, of course. I think that's when she was asking, can I make myself breakfast? And the reply was yes, of course. You know where everything is. And sorry was the only other one that I had written down. So, all right. So let's look. I have actually a, hold on. No, don't start playing again. Sorry. Sometimes with the videos embedded in there, it gets a little crazy. So this, nope, that wasn't what. This is what I wanted to do. I'm going to share this with you all later. So this is kind of more samples of asking and receiving permission. And some of the words that we can use. Just the top part here is all the, types of things we can say to ask for permission. And then here at the bottom, some of the things that we could say would be sure, no problem, go right ahead, please feel free to. These first three are pretty informal, whereas the last one is more.
Do you use go right ahead? Go right ahead?
I would say go ahead. I wouldn't use the word right in there, but I think some people probably do, and different areas. I would just pay attention maybe to what someone has, how they respond to you for something. But yeah, I would be like, I'd say, yeah, go ahead and do that. I wouldn't use the word right in there.
It's pretty common phrase.
Yeah. Well, yes, in the US. I'm not so sure about how common it is in the UK, to be honest with you. That will makes a difference sometimes. So that one I'm not positive on. Hi, Kalinka, how are you today?
I'm fine, but I need to improve the sounds, law of sounds.
Okay. Sometimes that happens. Our computers and phones don't like to have the right sounds available. So hopefully you can get that taken care of. All right, and then here are some ways that we can politely refuse a favor or deny permission. So we can say things like, I'm afraid I'd prefer if you didn't or don't. Sorry, actually, I'm afraid I'd prefer if you didn't. I think I probably would not say this part. I'd say I'd prefer if you didn't, and not put the I'm afraid in front of it, but you can look at that either way.
It's too much, yeah.
Sorry,
yeah, it's a lot.
Sorry, do you use prefer or rather? Prefer? I prefer,
it's another
or
phrase.
I'd rather.
I think either of those can be used, and so yeah, rather is
but
the next one. Yeah. So the next one says, I'd rather
more...
you did not. Sorry.
Do you use more prefer or rather?
I probably would use rather more.
Okay.
But I think prefer sounds more formal and rather is more informal.
Okay.
Okay, and then
Yeah,
we
okay,
have,
thanks.
yeah. Unfortunately, I need to say no, and I'm afraid that's not possible. So those are some of the ways that you can say refusing a favor. And then sometimes you need to deny permission, but you can offer an alternative. So these are some options for that here. I'm afraid I can't let you borrow my car, but I could drive you instead. And in the video, that was something that he said, the car is only insured for my wife and I, but we can give you a lift to the station, something like that. So you can, I could drive you, or you could do blah, blah, blah. I can't babysit your daughter. How about I call my sitter for you instead? So if I can't do something, but I have someone who may be able to help you. So you can do that. And I wish I could help out, maybe another time. So those are some ways that we could politely deny a favor, but offer an alternative.
Wish I could help means I cannot help.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time, Marina?
Sorry, it's just my thoughts. I wish I could help. It means I cannot help you.
Right, yes. I wish I could, but no. And usually, a lot of times we say, I wish I could help out, and it means that I don't want to help out. I'm just trying to be very polite about it without just saying, I don't want to do that. So yeah, it's the really polite way. Hi, Katya, how are you today?
Hello, everyone. I'm pretty well.
Good.
But today I'm experiencing when the life brings unexpected changes.
There you go.
And when I'm not well prepared for this.
I don't think we can ever be prepared for unexpected changes, right?
Sure.
But we have to.
We have
Life
to
shows that be prepared for everything.
Yes, we need to be prepared for unexpected changes, right? Okay, so we're going to look at this, some of the things in this lesson. We're not going to do all the things that are in here, but just a couple of more ideas of looking at using some of the modals and expressions: can, could, may, do you mind if, and is it okay if. We've already talked about some examples, but since we have Kalinka and Katya on the call, can either of you think of any additional, or think of any ways that you ask for permission or someone asks you for permission? Kalinka, what are some phrases you could use to ask for permission?
Usually I use could, for example. Could you please give me something? Could you please tell me something? Could you please blah, blah, blah me something?
Good. All right. And Katya, any thoughts?
The most common expression I use for permission is, don't you mind my being staying doing something?
Okay. Do you mind? Like, do you mind if I do this? Or is that what you're saying?
I actually saying, don't you mind? It's like from Russian.
Okay.
Do you mind?
Yeah, in English, we wouldn't say, don't you mind? That's like basically that if we're asking for permission. That would be like, don't mind me, would be like, don't pay attention to me or something. But that's not really asking for permission. That's just telling someone, just ignore me, kind of thing. Right? Don't mind that I'm doing my yoga over here. Like, just don't pay attention to what I'm doing in that case.
Or just may I do something? May I come? May I stay here?
Yes, yes, exactly. Those are perfect. All right, so let's see. These are just some dialogues to read. Sorry, I didn't mean to scroll down farther. Let's read through these
And the
dialogues really quick.
recent phrase I used for permission was, I need your permission.
Ah, that's good. I like that. Just getting straight to the point. Yes. Can I have your permission to, or I need your permission? And that actually, in the case, there are certain times when that does come in handy. If you're on, in your job, in the work that you do, sometimes that is the way that you need to do, because you have to have permission to have a day off or to leave early or something like that. So you actually could use that. Yes.
One more expression I usually use is, do you allow me to watch your work, you are working, or do you allow me to stay while you are working and observe the approach you use?
Okay. That's not exactly correct either, but let me think for a second on how to say that. Instead of saying do, I would maybe use the,
Is it allowed?
Is it allowed is what I was thinking. Yes. Is it allowed for me to watch you, or can you allow me? But that's also not really used commonly.
Is it more formal expression? Yeah.
It is kind of a very formal expression, and using the terminology of like allow, or will you allow me to do something, is very formal. Sometimes we would use it more in a sense of like if a man is opening a door for a woman to walk through, he might say allow me before he opens the door. So it's a very short phrase. It's like allow me to open the door for you to walk through, or something like that. But to ask if you can view someone or to watch someone, I probably would just say, is it okay if I observe your work? Or is it okay if I stay here and watch? Something like that more.
Get tired of using okay for in all the cases. Is it okay? Are you happy?
Yes, and okay is definitely a more informal way of using it as well. But to say, do you allow me, is not correct.
Excuse me, is it okay to stay and see?
Yes.
And
why it's not correct? What's the problem with allowance? When somebody allows somebody to do something, it means that there is a permission to do something. So I'm allowed to stay here. I have a permission. So on my own opinion, I cannot see the difference.
So it's the use of the word do. For one, it's not proper to use the word do you allow me in there. So it'd have to be like, can you allow me, or will you allow me to watch, but not the word do.
Why not?
Only thing I can say at this point is that I know it doesn't sound right. So I can't give you the grammar rule for it, unfortunately. All I can say is that it doesn't sound right when it's like it sounds completely wrong, like there's sirens and horns going off in my head saying, no, don't say that. So
yeah. And can I also can we pay attention to another phrase? Do you mind? For example, if I open window, if I allowed to open window, what should I say? I don't mind.
Oh, that's a good question. So, would you mind if I open the window? I don't mind.
Does it mean I agree?
I agree. Yeah. I don't mind. It means, yes, it's okay for you to open the window.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions? I made a note, Katya, to see if I can find a rule for you on that. But the only thing I can say at this point is it would be better to say, can you allow, or will you allow me to watch you or observe or something. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to read these 3 dialogues here. Marina and Margot, you're going to read dialogue 1. Marina, you'll be A, and Margot, you'll be B, please.
Can I borrow the car, Mom?
Sure, go ahead.
Is it okay if I take the leftover pizza too?
That's fine by me, but ask your dad.
Okay, good. Kalinka and Katya, you'll do dialogue 2. Kalinka, you'll be A, and Katya, you will be B.
Do you mind if I park out front?
I'm sorry, those spots are reserved. There is parking lots across the street.
Great. May I leave my bags here for a moment?
Be my guest.
Be my guest. That's a new one that we haven't seen for giving permission to someone. So Marina, with the question about opening the window as well, you could respond this way, be my guest. If you want. Or you can say, yeah, it's fine. It depends on how formal, informal you want to be. So if someone asks, would you mind if I open the window? I'd probably say, yeah, that's fine. So in a very informal way.
Okay.
Okay, Valeria, you will do dialogue 3 with Margot. I'll have you do this with her since Svetlana can't speak today. So Valeria, you'll be A, and Margot, you'll be B.
Okay.
Okay. Do you mind if we charge our phones here?
I'm afraid the charging station are for paying customers only.
Okay, could we order some drinks and charge our phones?
Absolutely.
Great. Could I use your toilet too? Your
Sure,
toilet?
go ahead.
Yes, toilet, another terminal, a bathroom.
Yeah, I mean your toilet. I need
your toilet, yeah.
Your toilet. I can say, can I use toilet too?
Right,
Your toilet.
the toilet or
exactly
the loo.
your.
Yes. Yeah, it's either your or the, either one is used. I'm trying to think, I think I use both, but I'd probably do say your if I'm saying it in English, but I know if I'm asking in Spanish, then I use the when I ask, because I'm usually just asking like, where is it? So like, ¿dónde está el baño? So like, where is the bathroom? So yeah, and then so the word toilet also, it depends on where you're located. So I know in the UK they use the terminology loo a lot, but I think toilet is fairly common there also, but I'm not positive on.
Yeah, toilet, yeah, it's similar.
Okay, good. All right, any questions or thoughts on any of these dialogues or any of the words in them?
No.
Okay, all right.
Very clear.
Good. All right, let's see what is next. This is also looking at some of the differences between the informal and the formal. So can typically is more informal, whereas may and could, and also do you mind is more formal. Is it okay is more informal. That is there. All right, let's look at some of these giving permission or giving approval. So we have strong approval. Kalinka, will you read this list that is a strong approval?
Of course, sure, absolutely. Be my guest. You don't have to ask. You don't even have to ask. By all means, anytime. By all means.
By all means. It means like go right ahead. It's okay.
I'm surprised that be my guest is it formal way to answer?
It is, yes.
Wow.
But obviously it's something you can use with your friends and family as well. But it is definitely more formal. Okay. And Katya, can you read the weak approvals, please?
Yes, I guess if you must, fine, go ahead. It's fine by me, but ask.
So like ask the coworker or ask your father or something like that. Just want to make sure, yeah, there's not any, okay. More that are there. And then we want to understand a response to the question, do you mind if, can be tricky. You need to listen for the tone and look at the body language. So the question, do you mind if we park here? Answer, of course, smiling, which means, of course, I don't mind. So it's kind of like the opposite that is there, because you're asking, do you mind? And then they're basically saying, of course I mind, but they're really not, because they're smiling and it's the tone and everything. So it means it's okay. I would probably want to verify if I ask, do you mind if we can do something and someone says, of course, then I would say, so it's okay, just to make sure that they mean, yes, it is okay. Of course, you can do this.
Yeah,
So,
it was my question before.
right. Yes, because it can get pretty tricky, and someone can even smile when saying of course, and they mean no. So you have to be very careful about that one. All right. And the same with sure, all of these actually, the of course, sure, and absolutely not. All of those could be taken the opposite way of the way that they're meant. They could be taken literally, in the sense of course I mind, sure I mind, absolutely not, you cannot park here. But what they actually mean is that, yes, I don't mind, sure, it's fine, and I don't mind at all. And then the actual one of, it's not okay, do you mind if we park here? Actually, I do mind, meaning it's not okay, you cannot park here. So these three here, I would verify if someone responds that way to you, I would just verify with them, do you mean yes or do you mean no?
So it's better not to ask in this way, just to not
right,
to be confused.
Yes, and that's what you're saying on here is actually to follow up if you're not sure. But you're right, maybe asking do you mind may not be the best way to ask the question. It is a formal way of asking, but the response that someone will give, because a lot of times they're not really hearing the do you mind part, they're just saying, oh yeah, it's fine, you can do this, but it doesn't calculate, or it doesn't come out the way that they think that they're saying it, right? So we do have to be careful with that one. Any other questions about that? Okay. And for refusing permission, Valeria, will you read the apologetic refusal? These ones here, please.
Yeah. No way. Absolutely not. Not a chance. Not a chance. Good try. Not happening.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that was the strong refusal, informal way. And Marina, will you read the apologetic refusal?
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I can't allow. I'm afraid that it's not allowed. I wish you could, but sorry, not today.
Mm-hmm. So these are more formal, way more formal than these to use here, but these can be used in informal situations also. All right, so the magic word, some people won't, I'm sorry, does anyone have a question?
Hello.
Okay, some people won't take no for an answer. They use the magic word, please, to beg for permission. When I was growing up, we always said, what's the magic word? When someone was, when a child was asking, can I have a popsicle? And you'd say, what's the magic word? The magic word is please. So to explain that a little bit more. So in this case, so a child, can I eat the last donut? Dad, no way, you already had one. Please. You can imagine a little child doing that. Please. Dad, not a chance. Child, come on, I'm hungry. Pretty please. And dad, fine, go ahead. As we all know, sometimes with children, it's easier just to say yes and go on. But that doesn't always, it's not always the best way. Sometimes this could change to be, no, absolutely not. I've already told you no, don't ask again, kind of thing. Right. Okay. So that's a listening thing that I don't have the recording to do. I do have the recording. Okay, Marina, it was good to see you today. Thank you.
Thank you.
And okay, so, all right, let's, give me just a second. I forgot what else was down here. So I need to look to see this is speaking. And review. Okay. So we're going to listen to this thing. Sorry, I don't know what else to say. We're going to listen to something and then you all will choose. So there's questions. Okay, we're going to listen to some questions and responses, and then you all will choose if they are formal or informal in their responses. So if you have a piece of paper or something that you can make your responses on. And I think it logged me out. Hold on. Sorry. I should have double checked that earlier to make sure I was logged in. All right. Wait. Which page are we on? Page 5. Okay. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
A, formal and informal. Listen to these questions and responses. Are they formal or informal? Number 1, do you mind if I use your phone? Number 2, not happening. Number 3, please. Number 4, I'm afraid that is against our policy. Number 5, I'm very sorry, but we can't allow that. Number 6, may I use your phone to call home? Number 7, can I grab a glass of water? Number 8, no way. Number 9, hey, is it okay if I sit here?
I guess we're not gonna have, okay. I was thinking there were 10. I wrote down 10. I was like, where's the last one? All right. I am going to ask you all, yes, Katya?
A was formal. Not
Yes.
formal.
Yes, good. All right, Valeria, number 2.
Formal.
Number 2 is formal, okay.
Number 2 is formal. Yeah, formal, informal. Okay. So.
What phrases was in a second, like not happening, something like, don't remember.
So let's see, we have answers down here at the bottom. So let's, I'm going to stop sharing here for a second to go down and look. I thought I'd taken a picture of this, is what I usually do, and then I can't find it. So I don't know what happened to it. The answer key. Where? Okay. What? No, that wasn't it. Okay, so number one was formal. Do you mind if I use the phone? Number two, the response was not happening.
Not happening. What does mean? Not happening.
Right. That means it's basically saying no. So if something doesn't happen, it means that you can't do this. You're not going to be allowed to do that. Not happening. That would be informal.
Informal, yes.
Yeah.
Informal then.
Yes.
I thought it was informal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
first one was formal. Yes.
The
Do you
formal was
mind?
formal.
Yes.
Do you mind?
Do you mind formal?
Yes, it was. Okay. And number three. Kalinka, number three.
Informal. A child.
Right. He was saying, please.
Please.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And Margot, number four.
It's formal.
Yes.
I think.
I'm afraid that is against our policy.
That's
So
policy.
yeah, so that is formal. Good. All right. Katya, number six. I'm sorry, number five.
I don't remember the letters because I mischanged them.
That's okay.
Formal and I just jot down that it's formal.
Yes, that is correct. I'm very sorry, but we can't allow that. Yes, so it's formal. Good. All right. And Valeria, number six.
Informal because informal. It's the last one, yes?
The saying said, may I use your phone to call home? So may I use, that would be formal.
Yes, it's formal. No, I mean, I didn't remember the
That's okay.
The sentences.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, and Kalinka, number seven.
Informal.
He said, can I grab a glass of water? Yes. And Margot, number eight.
I didn't write. I write phrases, but
it's okay.
This is, but I think it's formal.
So it
was a phrase
to me in the answers. The phrase was no way.
No way.
So if someone says, can I grab a glass of water? And then somebody responds, no way.
Informal.
No, it's informal.
Informal. Yeah, informal. All right. And Katya, number nine.
The last one was informal.
Informal, yes. Hey, is it okay if I sit here?
Hey.
Yeah. Anytime you start something with hey, it's probably going to be informal. Although you could say, hey, may I have, or something. So it's kind of like a mix between informal and formal that is going on there. So it could be a little bit of both for sure. All right, so we're going to listen to another recording, and then we have, I'm going to share my screen again now, some choices as well. And I'll come back to this page so that you all can see each of the responses. We'll have different choices here that are there. So give me just a second to bring this. All right.
B, choose the correct response. Listen to the recording. Circle the best response to each question or statement. Number 1, can I make cookies?
Wait, what?
What? Was too fast.
Yeah, and also I didn't understand what they wanted us to do. Hold on.
We have to answer, like to continue the conversation.
I guess, yeah. Oh, it's not.
Number 2, can I please take Monday off?
Okay, give me a second.
We didn't see the answer.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Number 1, can I make cookies?
Let's just skip that one.
Mommy cookies. She's asking.
Number 2, can I please take Monday off? Number 3, may I borrow your watering can?
these are really strange. So let's just skip these because I'm not exactly sure what they're wanting us to do. So that one's very odd. Okay. That is really the only last thing that I wanted to do with this, but does anyone have any questions on any of the words, the terminologies that we have talked about in either asking for or for giving permission for things?
Just to remember that may is not in formal way. It's formal way.
Yes, may is typically more formal, but if you use hey, then yeah, that's what you said, right? You said hey, right? Yeah, hey is definitely.
And it's better not to use. Don't you mind? Do you mind?
Do you mind? Yeah. Right. I will also send you this link here. You won't have the recordings, but I'm sending it more for looking at the lists of words that they have provided in here so that you have that. Okay. So I'll add that. I'll give that to you guys later. All right. So now we're going to look at some conditionals. So we're going to look at, sorry, let me make this bigger. And read about first conditionals, second conditionals, and third conditionals. And then we'll have this worksheet to practice. So Katya, will you read this information, this box here about first conditionals, please?
Yes, I will. First conditional expresses true or very probable situation in the present or future. If plus present simple, future simple, imperative, can, may, might, must, should, plus bare infinitive. For example, if it's sunny, we will go to the beach. If you need help, ask me. If you do your homework, you can go out. If you go hiking, you must wear hiking boots.
Good. All right. And Valeria, will you read the second conditional, please?
Yeah, could you just a little up?
Does that help?
I don't see.
Okay.
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Expresses true or improbable situations in the present or future. If plus past simple, would, could, might, plus bar infinitive. If I had more free time, I would take up gardening. If I won a lot of money in the lottery, I might give some to charity.
Good. All right. And Kalinka,
I have a question concerning the translation improbable. What does it mean? Or can you give other expression like the synonym?
Yes.
Probable.
Like probation, it's like testing something, like trying something.
So improbable would be like unlikely, doubtful, not likely, it's questionable.
Unlikely, I think, more useful.
I think unlikely is, yeah, it's probably the better best way of saying that. Yeah, so it's untrue or unlikely to happen.
So unlikely, yeah.
Good. All right. And Kalinka, will you read the third conditional, please?
Expresses unreal, impossible situation in the past. The structure if plus past perfect would have plus past participle. If I had seen Robert, I would have talked to him.
Good.
Если бы я видел Роберта, я бы не разговаривала.
So like if I had won the lottery, I would have bought an island and be living there today. It's one of the ways that I remember the third conditional. Because I'm not likely to win the lottery, number one, because I don't play the lottery. And buying an island is pretty much impossible to do otherwise.
Yes, I know sentences. If I had known that I should leave Ukraine, I would have I learned English better.
Ah, yes. That's a good one to remember that too. Yeah. Okay. So the next couple of minutes, I'm going to send everyone this link for you to work on this. And we won't have time to do all of them. So we're going to spend about maybe 5-6 minutes. Do as many of them as you can. Don't worry if you don't get them all done, okay? And then we'll go ahead at the bottom, whenever it's time, I'll have you go ahead and do the finish just to see for the ones that you got done, how you did on them, all right? And then I'll have you share your screen with me so that I can see your answers. And then you can finish this later if you want to be able to do the rest of them, okay? All right. So let's take 5 minutes to do as many of them as you can. And I'm going to go ahead and stop recording because this is the last part of our lesson for today. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.